talking to me? You're talking to me? Well then who the heck else are you talking to? Well, I am the only one here.
Do you ever wonder how would it feel to live in times of Leonardo or Caravaggio? Can you imagine walking the streets of your city and then you see Monet walking right in front of you? It must have been an amazing experience, especially eating with them, drinking. Can you imagine that? Eating a piece of cake? That would be a dream come true. I know it sounds very silly. Out of all the things that you can do with people like that, right? Eat a piece of cake. Sounds stupid, but... So, what do you think? Is there anybody out there that could compare? For a long time I thought, not a chance. These times will never come back. But then, I started thinking about art in a much broader sense. After all, art is not only paint and canvas, right? I mean, right now, the most popular, the dominant art form is film. Painters like it or not, that's the truth.
It's a good story. It's funny. You're a funny guy.
What do you mean? Is it the way I talk? What?
It's just, you're just funny.
Funny how? What's funny about it?
The fascinating thing about film is that this is such a young art form. Think about it. I mean, there are people alive out there today that were born when a movie camera didn't even exist. And just like Leonardo or Picasso shaped the world of painting, there were also masters that shaped film. That was Chaplin. That was Wilder. Orson Welles, Hitchcock, Stanley Kubrick, and many other great filmmakers. And my favorite, or one of my very favorite directors of all times, happens to be alive, well, and still making films. It's Martin Scorsese, of course. What do you think? You know, in art school, they teach you how Leonardo used his knowledge of anatomy to paint people, or how Monet explored the play of light in various surfaces. In a similar way, Martin Scorsese explored the moving camera, the freeze frames, the narration coming from many characters. Yep, and so much more in filmmaking. The idea of a moving camera is something that we at YouTube possibly take a little bit too much at heart, but think about it. Scorsese influenced other filmmakers. We watch movies all the time, and subconsciously we pick up things here and there, and before you know it, we just happen to make something that feels like something right out of Goodfellas. I have to say that it is pretty nerve-wracking to try to do a portrait of somebody you admire so much, but I thought I would give it a try. I didn't want to make this particular painting too abstract. Not this time. I wanted people to recognize that it is in fact Scorsese. I wanted the composition to be very tight on his face. I picked this pose because I wanted the painting to focus on his eyes, his soul. When you paint a close-up like this one, you don't have to worry about any distractions around him. Hopefully people are drawn right to his eyes. If not...
Funny how? What's funny about it?
Just, just funny.
You mean let me understand this? I'm funny like I'm a clown? I amuse you? I make you laugh? I'm here to amuse you? Or do you mean funny? Funny how? How am I funny?
If you ever had a chance to see an interview with Scorsese, you will see that he comes across as a extremely passionate person when it comes to film. I see him as a very energetic figure and at the same time as an innocent dreamer. Here he is captured in this very dreamlike state, but I wanted to add a spark of energy to his characteristic eyebrows. Scorsese is full of dualities. He almost became a priest, but he ended up directing pretty violent films. His movies are full of blood, but strangely poetic at the same time. I try to depict that by creating an impression of a calm person, but painting him with a fair amount of thick and rough texture. The duality aspect is also highlighted by the red blood on the black panels next to a dreamer director. It is also hard to ignore the amount of blood in his films. The combination of black and red is borrowed from Raging Bull, one of his great films. Through the positioning of him and the black panels, I wanted to create an impression of Scorsese watching his audience from behind the curtains. At the end, it seems that he gets the most joy from seeing people touched by his films. I still can't get over the fact that in fact I live in times of a master. Anybody out there lives in LA or New York? Have you guys seen Scorsese on the streets? Do you get goosebumps? I know I would big time. And the winner is... this person here. So, like I said, it is pretty nerve-wracking trying to make a portrait of somebody you admire so much. Yeah. Hopefully this video and painting didn't disappoint. So anyhow, see you next Sunday. Bye.
I amuse you? Make you laugh? I'm here to amuse you?
Eat your cookies.